2,000 years ago, a city of stone and ambition ruled the known world. Rome. It controlled wealth, law, and armies that stretched across continents. Today, a new empire is rising, but it doesn't build with stone. It builds with code. Artificial intelligence is spreading through every border, every economy, every decision. And just like Rome, it promises power and a price. So the question is, are we watching the end of nations or the birth of something even bigger? Rome didn't begin as an empire. It began as a survival story. A small city surrounded by enemies, forced to innovate, organize, and adapt. Through centuries of warfare, Rome discovered a formula that almost no other power could match. Discipline in war, efficiency in administration, and control of wealth. By the time of Augustus, Rome wasn't just conquering, it was managing. It built roads that connected 10,000 cities, aqueducts that carried life into deserts. It standardized money, trade, and law, creating one of the first truly global economies. Augustus reformed taxation, professionalized the army, and created a bureaucracy that could collect wealth from millions and spend it with purpose. Rome's genius wasn't just military, it was financial. Every conquered province paid tribute. Every merchant paid tax. Every citizen became part of the system. And the reward? Stability. Roads, commerce, power that seemed eternal. But what most forget is this: Rome rose because others failed. Greece fractured into rival states. Carthage bet everything on trade, but lost its navy. The old kingdoms of the East were too divided to resist. Rome filled the vacuum, just as every rising empire does. Empires don't rise because they're destined to win. They rise because others stop competing. But every empire plants the seeds of its own destruction. Rome became too big to govern, too rich to reform, and too divided to unite. As new conquests slowed, the flow of wealth dried up. To maintain the army and the games, taxes rose. The middle class shrank. Elites grew richer, while citizens lost faith. Senators bought loyalty, not legitimacy. Emperors ruled by fear instead of trust. Sound familiar? Economists call it the imperial trap. When maintaining power costs more than the power is worth, Rome faced inflation, corruption, and endless wars on distant borders. The republic that once empowered citizens became an empire that silenced them. By the 5th century, the machine that once fueled prosperity had turned against itself. When citizens stop believing in the system stops existing. Fast forward to now. The world's dominant power is not a kingdom. It's a network of nations led by the United States. Like Rome, it built roads, digital ones, the internet, global finance, trade routes, alliances. The dollar became the new denarius. The U.S. commands military strength, media influence, and technological innovation unmatched in history. But beneath that dominance, the same warning lights flicker. Political division, mounting debt, polarization. The average citizen losing faith in institutions once seen as untouchable. Just as Rome's elite built marble villas while the empire strained under taxes, today's wealth gap widens, and the cost of sustaining global power keeps rising. The empire of our time isn't crumbling yet, but it's transforming, And the new conqueror isn't an army, it's technology. Artificial intelligence doesn't need territory. It doesn't march. It doesn't vote. Yet, it's already taking control of the same levers that built every empire before it: wealth, production, and decision-making. Algorithms trade trillions on global markets faster than any human mind. AI writes code, analyzes wars, predicts elections, even runs factories without rest. Nations once fought for land. Now they fight for data. The wealth of the 21st century isn't gold or oil, it's information. And whoever controls that controls the world. For the first time in history, a tool humans created might outpace its creators. Some experts believe human-level AI, the kind that can reason, strategize, and self-improve, could emerge by 2030. Others say 2060. But in history's timeline, that's tomorrow. The moment AI begins to manage economies, enforce laws, or replace governments, the idea of a nation begins to blur. Rome used soldiers to expand its reach. AI uses networks. Rome taxed provinces. AI monetizes human behavior. Rome built roads. AI builds systems. One by one, the pillars of civilization are being digitized. And maybe that's how nations end. Not in war, but in obsolescence. So what happens next? Let's imagine 4 futures, all possible, all terrifying in their own way. Scenario 1, adaptation. Governments integrate AI into lawmaking, healthcare, education. Efficiency skyrockets, waste disappears, but so does privacy. Nations survive, but citizens become data points. The empire of algorithms begins. Scenario 2, concentration. A handful of megacorporations and tech superpowers dominate the AI landscape. Nations still exist, but their power is outsourced. Elections, economies, even wars, quietly influenced by code owned by private entities. Democracy fades, not with a coup, but a login screen. Scenario 3, displacement. AI systems run cities, automate taxation, and execute law enforcement. Borders lose meaning as digital citizens live in AI-run cloud states. Human labor becomes optional. Wealth becomes code. The world looks peaceful, but authority has vanished. Scenario 4, collapse. The nightmare scenario. Superintelligent AI develops goals misaligned with human survival. No rebellion, no war, just irrelevance. The ultimate empire, one that doesn't need us. So how much time do we have? Not long. Experts disagree, but history doesn't wait for consensus. Rome fell over centuries, but digital empires can rise and fall in decades. The pace of innovation is exponential. The window for preparation, shrinking. If AI redefines wealth and labor before our laws and ethics catch up, we'll lose control of both governance and meaning. But if we adapt, build new institutions, regulate power, democratize access, nations might not end. They might evolve. Rome's legacy isn't just conquest, it's law, language, and culture that still shapes us. Perhaps AI will leave a legacy too, one we can still choose. History doesn't repeat, it rhymes. Empires rise, they centralize wealth, then collapse under their own weight. AI is not our enemy, It's our mirror. It reflects everything we value and everything we ignore. The fall of Rome wasn't inevitable. It was a choice made over centuries. And the next fall, if it comes, will be the same. Empires fall, but ideas survive. What will survive us? Subscribe to Lost Wealth, where we uncover how power, money, and history keep repeating themselves.